The NFL season has just came to an end, and it is time to grade every AFC team. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and let's get right into the video. First up is the Houston Texans. I thought about giving them a break and giving them like a D, as there was not much expectation coming into the year until they made a dumb decision telling their coach they're going to fire him at the end of the year, and then he gets the team fired up and they win a couple games and actually loses the chance at the number one seed, which is absolutely stupid on their part. On top of the fact that they had the 27th ranked defense and 30th ranked offense, which is absolutely terrible. I think they were like one of the worst running offenses and kind of like 25th in passing. It just was not a good year. Texans have no upswing to this roster. This is just, unfortunately, I think this is going to be where they're going to be for a few more years. Maybe CJ Stroud can help that, because at this point, I don't think they're getting Bryce Young since they choked away the number one seed. Next up is the Indianapolis Colts, who are also getting an F. They actually had some expectation entering the season, getting an upgrade at quarterback with Matt Ryan over Carson Wentz last year, but it didn't help them as they finished with the 31st ranked offense and the 30th ranked defense, which their defense was expected to be one of the best in the league, led by Shaquille Leonard. But they just didn't succeed this year. Everything looked off. Jonathan Jacobs was not the same. Matt Ryan was not the same. The defense was not the same. And this Colts team was very dysfunctional all year long. They ended up with the 4th overall pick. So maybe they are able to stop doing this run a quarterback thing that just has not worked since the Andrew Luck retirement. But I don't have high expectations for them going forward, as I don't believe they'll get somebody like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, as they'll probably get stuck with Will Levis at best. But we'll see what happens going forward. Next up is the Denver Broncos, who also get an F. Started off with 3 straight Fs, which is actually kind of crazy, because sometimes these bottom teams necessarily don't have much expectations. But the Denver Broncos did, trading for Russell Wilson in the offseason. Now, it has been an absolute disaster. They were the 32nd ranked offense, which is absolutely crazy when you go from Drew Lock to Russell Wilson as your quarterback and not really losing much offensive firepower except for, trading away Noah Fant. But they just flopped hardcore offensively. A big part of this is probably Nathaniel Hackett's fault. He was a terrible head coach. Just didn't make it work at all. Russell Wilson's also a huge issue with it. And hopefully Sean Payton can get them to take that step forward, because the defense was pretty middle of the pack as they were 14th ranked. So I have a lot of expectations still for this Broncos team going into next year. You can't make a trade like that and just completely crap the bed like they have last year. And if they repeat it next year, they are going to go down in history as one of the worst trades ever. The Las Vegas Raiders get a D. I thought about giving them an F too, but I didn't have the type of expectations. I knew Davante Adams should have boosted up them up a little bit, but I didn't expect them to turn around and become a championship contender this year. Now, granted, finishing this low in the standings is not ideal. However, they just mismanaged a bunch of stuff. I mean, they were the 12th ranked offense. They won't have the same quarterback next year. There's a good chance they'll have the same running back who won the rushing title this year. Their defense was 26, which needs to be worked on, but that's always a Raider issue. They just never have it. And there's only a matter of time before Davante Adams wants out, because he came here to play with Derek Carr, and what do? They bench him and cut him pretty much after 1 year. I mean, it's just a dysfunctional franchise, and it's just never going to get better unless they figure something else out. And Josh McDaniels is not the head coach for them, but we'll see if they can improve. I don't know what the heck they're going to do at quarterback next year without Carr, but we'll see what happens. Next up is the Cleveland Browns, and they also get a D. Cleveland made a crazy trade trading for a quarterback who has a terrible past, and on top of all of that, he couldn't play the first 11 games of the year. Cleveland finished really poorly, and they actually looked better when he wasn't on the field. Now, they had the 18th ranked offense and the 20th ranked defense, which is middle of the pack at best. And I think Stefanski is on thin ice. I think 1 or 2 more bad years like this, and he should be canned. I think he's just not been that great of a head coach. That defense is relatively stacked to finish 20th. That offense had Nick Chubb, tons of offensive weapon, and Jacoby Brissett did a good enough job through the regular season. They should have finished better, and they should have been higher ranked in offense. And I think Stefanski is holding this team back. Next up is the Tennessee Titans, and I'm giving them a D. I debated on giving them an F as well, but with the amount of injuries, I decided to give them a D. I know they were supposedly a playoff-bound team, and they came up just a little bit short, losing to Jacksonville there near the end. But with a 28th ranked offense and a 15th ranked defense, I can't help but think this was a lost season altogether for the Titans. And not sure where they are going up. I feel like they're just going to continue a downward spiral. Losing A.J. Brown hurt them significantly, and I don't know where they're going to go from this point on. The New York Jets get a C. I still wanted to give them a B because they performed pretty well this season, on top of having one of the best draft classes ever, getting Breece Hall, Gardner Minshew, and Sauce Gardner, who all just absolutely had fantastic seasons. And I mean, Breece Hall got hurt early on, but he looked amazing when he was playing. Sauce, obviously winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Garrett Wilson winning Offensive Rookie of the Year is huge. But the big flaw with them is their 29th ranked offense. They were the 4th ranked defense, which is pretty damn good. But their offense was ranked 29th due to their quarterbacking issue, and that's why they get a C. I think if they had anybody but Zach Wilson and Mike White being their quarterbacks, I think this Jets team was a playoff team. I think they're better than Miami and would have slipped into that spot. However, that just was not the case. I gave the New England Patriots a D+. The only reason they get this D+ and instead of a C is because of the Matt Patricia hiring. I think it was such a dumb decision to hire him, and it helped Mac Jones regress. And honestly, it could stifle his entire development. They were the 17th ranked offense, 11th ranked defense, which wasn't too bad. They were kind of middle of the pack this season, finishing just under 500. But that Matt Patricia just made no sense. It was so dumb. And it really affected them, and it caused a lot of issues for Mac Jones this season. I mean, when he went outside the building to try to get better, that tells you how poor Matt Patricia's offense was run. And hopefully he's not ruined, because if he is, I don't see New England going forward much farther as let's say get another Tom Brady in the late rounds, which I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but then again, it's the Patriots, so it probably will. I gave the Pittsburgh Steelers a B-. Now, honestly, nobody expected him to finish anywhere near 500, especially since Kenny Pickens really didn't look that great at the start. George Pickens looked fantastic, or Kenny Pickett, not Pickens. Anyway, looked fantastic and had a solid rookie season. The defense was still a stud-worthy team, as they were 10th ranked defense, which is top 10, which is obviously fantastic. However, the offense was 26th, so that's something that's got to improve. But they didn't finish under 500. I was really debating on giving them a C because, nothing really special. They missed the playoffs. But still, impressive comeback, as they started the season off really poorly and recovered strong. I give Miami a B. Now, I just can't help but think that if they just handled the Tua concussion issues a little bit better, how much better this Miami team could perform. Now, I do think if you are a playoff team, you should receive around a B. Some exceptions might happen, but I do believe that this Dolphin team had a ton of potential if they just kept Tua healthy, as they finished with the 11th ranked offense and 24th ranked defense, which is kind of middle of the pack. It's not great. But they had so much talent on offense with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and what Tua was able to do when healthy. I just can imagine this team could have gone so much farther if they just handled those concussions a little bit better. And that's why they get a B instead of an A, as they made the playoffs for the first time in a little while. But I don't think it really matters when they basically had Tua murdered out on the field. The Ravens get a B-. They get a B- because I just feel like there's so much potential on this team, as they had the 3rd ranked defense, which after trading for Roquan Smith is how they got there. He did a phenomenal job. That was an amazing trade, amazing decision mid-season to bring him in. But they had the 19th ranked offense, and I feel like, Lamar played 12 of those games. So for having the 19th ranked offense and only 6 or so, around that, is all that Tyler Huntley played, I don't think you could blame him for how they finished that low in the rankings offensively. Clearly, Greg Roman was a problem. He should have been fired mid-season. He wasn't. He's fired now. So hopefully Baltimore can take this and take a step forward, because this defense is ready to win a championship. With Marlon Humphrey and Roquan Smith and Calais Campbell and all those pieces, this defense is ready to go all the way. They just need the offense to get to that level. I'm giving the Chargers a B minus, as that huge collapse in the playoffs really hurt their grade here. And honestly, I think it's a major coaching issue. As they kind of finished middle of the pack, 13th ranked offense, 21st ranked defense, and with the amount of talent this team has on their roster, they have Joey Bosa, Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, and they just haven't looked good. I mean, they've wasted so many years of Herbert's career. And I think, honestly, Brandon Staley should have been fired after that game. And I think that is a big flaw with the Chargers front office not firing him, because I don't think that the Chargers are ever going to get out of this middle of the pack reign with Brandon Staley and his analytics as he makes dumb decisions. He got Mike Williams injured in a game that didn't even matter. And I think that's the biggest issue for the Chargers, really poor coaching. I gave the Jacksonville Jaguars an A+, as they made an incredible run to the playoffs. They won a playoff game and then kept the game close with the Chiefs. Now, granted, Patrick Mahomes was hurt, not 100%. It affects it a little bit, but it was a fantastic season by Jags with the 10th ranked offense, 12th ranked defense. I think all they could do is go up from here. Doug Peterson has really turned the squad around, and they looked fantastic down the stretch this season. And I think that they just can continue to improve, continue to get better, because I don't think we've seen what Trevor Lawrence and the rest of this Jaguars team has in store for us. I gave the Bengals an A+ as well, as they were the 5th ranked defense, which is supposed to be their weak point, which is shocking because they were the 8th ranked offense. But getting back to the AFC Championship was a huge achievement for them, and coming up oh so close at beating the Chiefs with a few questionable calls here and there. But Joe Burrow and this Bengals team is built to win, and I can imagine seeing them in a Super Bowl again here soon. With T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and apparently the defense is just performing better than it was. They are prime for another Super Bowl run. And Joe Burrow is about to get paid in the offseason. Now, I think a big flaw with them is I don't love Zach Taylor. I think Joe Burrow is kind of carrying Zach Taylor to relevancy, but either way, he's still getting the job done with the team he has, and it could be much worse at coach. I gave the Buffalo Bills a B, as I just feel like their playoff run was really dissatisfying, where they struggled to put away a Miami Dolphin team being led by Skylar Thompson, who looked awful throughout the regular season. And then they just got absolutely demolished by the Bengals on their home turf in the divisional round. For having the 2nd-ranked defense, 4th-ranked offense, you expect more out of them. They had a lot of Super Bowl aspirations this year, and they just seemed dysfunctional when the playoff time came. And Stephon Diggs blowing up on Josh Allen was not a fantastic look there at the end of the season either. And I'm just wondering if the Bills are going to be able to recover from this, as it just seems so dysfunctional down the stretch. Can they take the next step forward? A lot of people are now saying Josh Allen is overrated, and it's a possibility without Brian Daboll there that just didn't look as good. I gave the Kansas City Chiefs an A+. Winning the Super Bowl instantly gets you an A+. Making it to the Super Bowl probably gets you an A+, unless you literally beat nobody to get there. But honestly, this Chiefs team was considered to be not that great this year. People didn't expect them to get here, which I thought was crazy personally, because I wasn't going to bet against Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, all those guys. I mean, they had the 16th ranked defense, which isn't fantastic, but they had the 1st ranked offense this season. They had the MVP on their roster. I just don't understand why people thought they weren't going to quite get to the same place. But they did. They won the Super Bowl. They get an A+. If you guys enjoyed watching, please hit that subscribe button. It'll mean a lot to me, and I'll see you in the next one.